Here's everybody, Agmat's here today. Today we're going to be taking a look at the strongest PvE build, I'd say, for PvP. So it's actually a multi-use PvE build, right? This is a mage PvE build, so it's not going to be using Evan Spear. Well, Evan Spears can also be a mage build, but for the most part, it's going to be Hero Blade focused. And this is a more so Diluvian was a mage PvE build that I use to actually win the PvE little CC event that we had, where it was like a race to complete as many as possible. And this one is kind of focused on doing giant AoE damage and having a bit of survivability. So of course you have your classic Warden's Blades, you have Ice Flock, those do big AoE damage around you, right? We have Ice Cubes for big single target damage if you have 6 Song Chant, what this build does have, right? Which is really handy. And then we have the new Ice Carve. Now Ice Carve is actually insane, right? You can put like 4 Cloud, 4 Stratus on it to make it big. And the more times you keep hitting a target or a person, the more times it will keep hitting as a whole. So it's actually really, really good against monsters because it will constantly hit them. And if all your hits land, it can land the Crystal Explosion 4 times. That's like 80 damage. And if you have the little talent, I'm gonna put up on the screen, the little talent that makes it to where it spreads the crystals and explodes and does AoE damage. That's huge AoE damage with crystals exploding a bunch of times around people. And it'll cause like a chain reaction of crystal explosions. Then on top of that, we have Ice Spikes. This is more so for like the PvP aspect, but it also works on monsters and does a decent amount of damage, around 40 damage per spike. And then of course we have Permafrost Prison. This is a Frost Shadow hybrid build. So the more you want to go into shadows, the more you want to delve into PvP, right? But Permafrost Prison, generally just a great move for stunning the monsters in Diluvian and or Hell mode, right? It does a lot of big AoE damage and also procs crystals. Finally, we have Shade Wisp here, which just gives me extra tempo and covers me, which is also good for PvP. And then we have Vision Shaper. Now people may be wondering why I picked Vision Shaper. Vision Shaper is actually not too bad for PvE in my opinion. They just buffed Illusory Servants to do PvE damage. It's also handy because if you get below 50% health, you get like a free iframe that gets you out of pretty much any danger, and the monsters will target the clone instead. There's also Realm, which is really good for hiding away from a ton of mobs. And then of course Vision Shaper is good for PvP as well, and just putting a bunch of pressure on your opponent, right? And then finally I have Delay Shark just for some mobility. You don't really need this, but it's up to you. Some of these you don't really need. Now the crazy thing about this build is that my equipment isn't even really that great. I only have 436 health and only actually like 31% damage versus monster, but this thing can very quickly take out monsters really fast and players as well, especially if you pair it like with the Ishin's Ring and Chime. There's just a lot of big damage you can do. My bell, run it back because I was running Diluvian, right? You can switch to Sacred Field or any other thing if you want it for more PvP usage. And dude, it's just really handy because I'm able just to like, this is like basically the combo. Wardens into Ice Flock into Ice Carve for huge AoE damage. And then usually I follow up with like a Permafrost, maybe place down constant like Ice Spikes, and then doing like my giant AoE critical. So just see like a bunch of big AoE damage that you can do on multiple players and multiple monsters if you're fighting in Diluvian. On top of that, placing like the clone, again the spikes for more AoE denial, or the regular spike, which is still pretty large, and then Ice Cubes, which is very handy still for just doing singular target damage. As for the stats, I went 90 into intelligence to get all the Neuro Overload and the Unbound talents right. Then of course I got some charisma after I shrine. This is for Vision Shaper plus all the charisma talents, which are really good. 20 willpower, and I went 40 fortitude beforehand so I can get the fortitude and willpower talents, which are good for PvP and some that are useful for PvE, as well as getting exoskeleton right. No need for strength and agility. Now agility is a little rough, but shadow does end up giving me dark grip, which is why I went so much into shadow cast, which is really handy. And then I'm having 80 in both allows me to get level 5 of both, and Permafrost scales off of both. And if you want to like scale a little bit more into getting like some shadow matches like single target shadow gun or rising shadow, if you want just a bit more PvP to your build, very handy to have that level 5 there. And then of course you can just pop a, you can just pop a Ice Hero Blade or Shadow Hero Blade. Again, this build can do without the shadow if you want it. I like Permafrost a lot, so that's why I have it, but I'm just showcasing to you guys that this is the build I was using just to easily dominate a bunch of Chime players. And this was with my equipment, by the way. Like I was fighting with this like trash level equipment. I mean, look at this Pell Assassin Cloak, Mercenary Boots. Look at the health on these things. Like this is the only exception, and I only put this on because it has DVM. Now I'm going to go ahead and showcase to you some Chime examples of me using this build and just showing you how good this PV build can be. Already got a Permafrost off. This is just free damage unless he vents right here. Nope, not gonna let him get away with that. Find another clone. Armor Frost him for running. Where are you going? You're not getting away. Nice, even more pressure with the Ice Carve. Again, do not back off these guys. Oh, that's big damage. Let's get an Ice Spike. Again, you want an Ice Spike with as big of an AoE as you can to just punish these guys for trying to run away from your PvE build that you're bringing into PvP. I mean, that's the entire point of it, right? Nope. Punish them for attacking. Again, treat them like a mob. Do not treat them like a player. These guys think that they're in Chime. No, they're actually a part of your Diluvian mechanism. And he's down. As I said before, these guys are going to try and M1 you like... They're going to try and M1 you like you're the mob. No, they're the mob. That's how you need to treat... you're kind of like treat them. And that needs to be your mindset going into these Chime matches. That's the way you as a PvE player with PvE armor need to approach this. They're trying to kill you with their PvP moves. Kill them with PvE moves. On to the next match. Nice. Got the Ice Prison on him. Get down another one of these. Big AoE denial. Big AoE denial. Nice. Got the Ice Carve. Ice Cubes on him. Let's get the Ice Carve. He was able to hit through that. The eject crit is insane, dude. Nice. Oh my goodness. Big damage, dude. Let's get some of those birds in. Nice. Nice. Oh, big damage. Big damage with the Ice Carve. Oh my goodness. That is... Now I decided to put on an Ishin's Ring just to see how much the damage increase would be nice. Nice. Got a free hit off. More free hits. Ooh. Do we see big damage here? Oh, that gotta hurt. And the critical right there on top of that, dude. Let's get our Shade Wisp back. Oh, Shade Wisp, please stop bugging. Please stop bugging. The thing I love about Ice Flock is that it's like inconsistent where it's gonna come from. So like, it can like miss a parry just off of what's it called? Like they can miss a parry off of just it RNG going in the wrong direction. Oh, big damage. Oh, interrupt that. More big damage, and that's the end of that, dude. The Ishin's Ring seemed to do a lot of damage. That guy was playing hella cheesy, but we had a cheese build too, so what can I say? I think for now, guys, that's probably going to be the end of us using this PvE build in PvP. I just want to get a little bit better armor so I can use Ishin's Ring there, but for the most part, dude, like, it's not going to be super crazy, but it can definitely boost you up to top 250 if you keep using it and actually get a decent kit and not just use PvE armor all the time and maybe switch up some of the mantras. But for the most part, it's pretty damn good, and I'll be catching you guys later, alright? Peace.